Alright, what's going on YouTube? I'm back with another video for you today. This is going to be a primary weapons tier list for the Automaton faction. I'm going to go over each primary weapon, probably not in excruciating detail or anything, and I'll share with you how I personally rank these weapons on the scale. My rankings are based on my own personal experience as well, so keep that in mind. A few of them I might have only used maybe once or twice against the faction, and that's probably for a reason, to be honest. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video and like it if you did. Also, leave a comment down below whether you agree or disagree with some of these choices that I made, and let's get into the video. All right, let me go over the actual tiers in my list first. So I got S tier at the top, like usual. That means that the weapon does work, essentially. Like you're killing things. You're murking things. A tier, I mean it's aight. And then you get usable, which is like it's usable, but like not really that fun, I guess. Like it kills stuff, but it's not really that fun to kill stuff. And maybe not that fast either. And then I have I'd rather go in without a weapon. Yeah, that's basically my tier list. That's how I'm gonna order these. So first we're going to start with the Liberators. Let's see. The first Liberator, the OG, the classic. Just kidding. That's definitely not. I would go in with that over some other things. But this I would say is usable against the bots. Only usable. It's light armor pen. It really, unless you hit those headshots on the Devastators, you're not really doing much. Same thing with like the other armored enemies. I mean, you're not killing a Hulk with it. I mean, if you get around the back, I suppose you could probably kill it pretty fast. I think they did reduce the health pool of the vent on the back of the Hulks. So you, honestly, I haven't even tested that. So that might be pretty fast, but either way, it's still usable. I think the main point of any weapon against the bots is, can it kill like Devastators fast? I mean, most weapons with like that high damage can hit them in the head. High damage and precision, but if you have the recoil control and the accuracy, I guess you might rank a little bit higher. I just don't really enjoy using most of these ARs against bots. But anyways, on to the Liberator Penetrator. I would say this is honestly A tier. It used to be bad, but since they gave it more ammo and upped the damage a bit, this moved up a tier. Before I would have put it in usable probably, but I'd give it a solid A. I mean, you can actually damage the Devastators and also get those headshots in. It kills a lot faster, I would say, probably than the regular Liberator. And it can also kill the Striders. Not factory Striders, just the regular Striders. It can kill them pretty fast too if you just shoot them in the pelvis area. So that's pretty good. So I'd give that A tier. Now this thing, the Liberator Concussive. Legit, I'd rather just not have anything. This thing, you're not doing anything against the bots with it, I promise you. It's just not a good pick. It's got 60 rounds in the mag, which is cool. I've actually used this against the bots before, and it's really not, it's not fun. It's not a good time at all. So, on to the next one. But which one is this called again? This is the Killzone one, but I forget what it's called. Anyways, it's basically just usable. I mean, it's essentially a Liberator with a higher rate of fire and more ammo in the magazine. That's pretty much it. Not really much else to it. And it doesn't have a sight on it. You get iron sights with it, which is kind of crazy. I don't know who wants to be running around with iron sights. But anyways, on to the next one. Tenderizer. Tenderizer is a solid A tier. And I know you're going to say, oh, well, it's light armor pen. Why would it be different than the Liberator? Well, the thing is, it's rate of fire. It's rate of fire and it's low recoil is what sets it apart from the Liberator. Now, the Liberator doesn't have that much recoil either, but this has even less. So it only has 35 rounds in the mag, though, which is kind of unfortunate. This has 45. I'd give that an A tier. That's actually pretty nice to use against bots. The Liberator, the Carbine. The Carbine Liberator. I think that's what it's called, right? Yeah. Yeah, we're going to put it in usable. Like I said, all these ARs they're usable, really, except this one. They're mostly just mid. It's no different than this, with just a higher rate of fire. That's literally it. Doesn't have a high power scope on it either, just has a red dot. The Adjudicator, putting that A. So both the medium armor pen Rifles are an A because that's, I mean, that's kind of essential for bots. Medium armor pen. It does have a bit of recoil though. That's the one major downside of this gun. It has so much recoil, but it does 95 damage. So, I mean, it's a 2-hit kill to the head on a Devastator, which I think the Tenderizer is as well. I'm not sure. The Devastator heads have 125 HP, correct? And this does, I think this does 60 or 65. Either way, it's not, well, if it did 65, it would be. I don't know. I think it does 60. I don't think this is a 2-shot to the head. The Defender, that's just usable. It's a decent SMG, I guess. 70 damage, one-handed. It's okay. Killzone SMG, usable. Trying to think. This might be a little bit better than the Defender. Might be. Just because it's higher rate of fire and it's better capacity. The Pummeler, honestly, the Pummeler might be A tier, actually, on the bottom of A tier at the moment, but it might be A tier. Because you can stun the Devastators after a few shots. I forget exactly how many shots it takes, but you can stun them by shooting at them and then go for those easy headshots without getting shot at. So I think that I'm going to leave that in A. The Reprimand, I have mixed feelings on the Reprimand. On one hand, for the bots, on one hand, but on the other hand, top of A tier. The reason that it's kind of, I'm kind of mixed between here and here, S tier and A tier, is because of its spread. It's, I don't really care about the recoil. It's just its spread is insane. Like, an enemy could be 10 feet in front of you and you just line up a headshot and the thing just straight up misses. Like the bullet comes out of your gun at like a 90-degree angle or something. Like, I don't know, sometimes it's jarring trying to use it and shoot at something. You'll just miss a bunch of random shots. But I think just for that reason, I'll leave it at the top of A tier. Like, it's almost S tier bot. Almost. I'll leave it at the top of A though. Constitution. We all know this is just a meme gun. But I'm not going to put it in Rather Die Without a Weapon though, because actually no, I am. Because you're not really meleeing bots, and one of the main benefits of this gun is the bayonet on it. So like you can melee stuff and have better damage meleeing, especially if you pair it with the one armor passive that gives you better melee. But against bots, I just don't, it's really not that great. Because you're not really getting within melee distance anyway. And then trying to land those headshots with this thing is already hard, plus you don't have a scope. So, and it doesn't have a speed loader if you completely run out of bullets. So I'm going to put that in Rather Die Without a Weapon. Diligence, regular Diligence, Rather Die Without a Weapon. That thing blows dog water. It's bad. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like it against any faction, actually. Now this, we all know where this is. I think every Helldiver will agree with this. We know where that one goes. This thing, ew. I'm going to leave it down there. Maybe other people have, you know, maybe I was using this wrong the last time I used it. I used it like 3 times in a row. I just didn't like this gun. Okay. I just didn't like it. I thought it was, I don't like it. The Arc Blitzer, you know, it's good against the small bots, but not really great against everything else. But then again, I've only used it once against the bots, and that was before they added the stun buildup effect. So I don't know if that affects the bots or not. I'm sure it does. But if that's true, if you can actually stun the bots after a few shots, I'm going to put it in usable. The HALT's actually pretty good against bots. Used it once or twice. It's probably above the Pummeler. Yeah, I put it above the Pummeler in A tier. The Slugger, bottom of usable. Once again, it's the spread. I don't care much for that spread. I feel like I'm just missing shots at ranges that I just should not be missing at. And I get for the sake of balance, but I don't like missing like that when I know I'm right on target, especially if I'm close enough to be absolutely shredded by a heavy Devastator. I need my shots to hit on point, so I'm going to put that one at the bottom of usable. The Cookout's actually better than a lot of people might think against the bots. I'm going to put it at the bottom of A, mainly because the fire damage, when you shoot it so it staggers, at least I thought it did. I think it staggers a little bit when you shoot at them, and it lights them on fire, which also reduces their accuracy when you light them on fire. And they take the fire damage, obviously. It's bottom of A, but it's definitely an A tier weapon against the bots. You can just pepper a bunch of small bots with it too, and they just die. It's got decent spread to it. Punisher Plasma. Let's see. It's got decent stagger. I'm going to put it bottom of A, just for its stagger. Most weapons with a lot of stagger are going to go probably in A, because stagger is really good against the bots, especially when you're being swarmed by devastators. Like, that stagger will literally save your ass over and over again. The Punisher, the regular Punisher, like, honestly, it's just usable. Breaker, Spray, and Pray, I'd rather go in without a weapon in the bots. I'd rather go in with just my sidearm, to be honest, than have to be forced to bring the Breaker, Spray, and Pray on bots. Like, any of these weapons are going to be good against the small bots, but when you're up against literally anything else, these weapons ain't doing jack. Unless you're super accurate, unless you're literally Shroud or something, you're the most accurate player I've ever seen in my life, then these would probably be fine. The OG Breaker, after they nerfed it the first time into the ground, it would have been usable, but now it's A tier again. I'd say it's above the Punisher Plasma, though. Actually, I'm gonna go like this. I think the Cookout's slightly better than the Pummeler, to be honest. And then I'm gonna put this here. I think shotguns in general just really aren't great against the bots. I mean, they're usable for the most part, but sometimes they are, like, the spread can just get you, because you're trying to hit like a small target most of the time, like on the Devastators, especially behind a shield if it's a heavy Devastator. So like, you kind of need that accuracy and precision, and shotguns usually just aren't offering that. This one's a little bit more accurate though than all the other ones, other than the Slugger. The Slugger's obviously a slug, so that's gonna be super accurate, but they added that spread to it, so it's I don't know, kind of counterintuitive on their part, but I'd say that's usable. Breaker, Incendiary, this thing used to be S tier for me. Not against bots. It would have been A tier against bots before they nerfed the ammo into the ground, but now it's I'm just gonna put it down there. A lot of people will probably be mad at that. I don't care. I don't know why they wouldn't revert the nerf to that like they did everything else. There's no reason for that to only have 4 magazines, so I'm gonna put it there. Any primary weapon where you are forced to bring a supply pack to use is just not great. It's not good. The Eruptor. I really can't remember whether the Eruptor is like that solid against the bots or not. I'm gonna put it at the very bottom of usable, because it can, obviously it's got a crap ton of stagger. It's got explosive AoE and shrapnel, so you could probably do some damage to a large group of bots with it. I just don't see, the speed, its ergonomics, and its reload time. It's just not good in most situations, I feel like. I think everyone else would probably agree this thing is a shell of its former glory. The Jar 5 Dominator. This, once again, I think we all know where this is going. Top of S tier. Easily top of S tier. This thing is the best bot weapon by a literal mile. I mean, this is S tier, but even this, in my opinion, doesn't come close to the Jar 5. This thing it shreds. Explosive, massive stagger, one shot to the head, everything. Well, not everything. Devastators. You can take out gunships. You could kill Hawks in the back with it insanely fast. You can kill Striders insanely fast with it. It's all around solid pick for the bots. S tier, in my opinion. Probably a lot of other people's S tiers as well. Crossbow, another S tier. That's going to be bottom of S tier to these 3. Mainly because it's really good. Like, you can close Fabricators with it, but a lot of times with bots, you don't really get that grouping that you get with like all the other enemies, like for the voteless on the Illuminate or just the bugs in general. Like, a lot of times you'll get Devastators that are like right next to each other, but it's only like 3 or 4 of them, so it's like the explosive radius is good, but it's like it's not really a lot of enemies there. But the fact that it can take out Fabricators is pretty good, and I would say that's probably why it's S tier. So you don't have to bring like a grenade pistol. You can bring the Senator for a secondary, which is insanely good against bots. That's going to be S tier in another video. Spoiler alert. Purifier. That's S tier above the Crossbow. Well, actually, yeah. S tier above the Crossbow. Purifier. Just all around good pick for bots too. Massive AoE damage. You can single tap it. It's just really good. And the Crossbow has one of the added downsides of the bolt just bouncing. Like, if you're on too flat of a surface, it will literally just bounce. The Purifier, you don't have that problem. You just charge up the shot and it just explodes when it comes into contact with any surface or enemy. Yeah, both of these you got to be careful to not, murk yourself with it. But the Scorcher, I'm going to retract what I said earlier about weapons needing a supply pack being down here, because I'm actually going to put this one, I'm going to put the Scorcher top of S tier. I'm going to put it or A tier, not S tier. I'm going to put it top of A tier. It would literally be S tier if they didn't take away that 1 magazine from it. Now, with all of these, you can run the Siege Ready armor set and get extra ammo for every one of these weapons, including the Scorcher. You can get 1 more magazine and put it back to where it was before. I just don't think that you needed to nerf it. I think that was kind of dumb. But if it had 1 more magazine without the Siege Ready armor set, And if you could even get an extra from that armor set, as if they didn't nerf it, this would easily be S tier as well, because the Scorcher is an amazing gun. The Torture, you know, honestly, I said I used every weapon against the bots. I don't think I've ever used the Torture against the bots, actually. Now that I have it in hand here, I'm trying to think of how that would even be. Flamethrower against the bot. I haven't used the actual Flamethrower against the bots, to be honest. Never thought about it. I'll put it, just for the sake of not actually having used it, I'll put it in the bottom of usable. The laser weapons. The Sickle, bottom of A tier. I just think that, well, no, we're not going to put it in the bottom. We're going to put it above all these ones. We'll put it right here. I think this is a good spot for it. Actually, right here. Mainly because it's unlimited ammo. I mean, you can just pick off heads with it. You can kill all the small bots, not having to waste ammo. And if you focus fire on the Devastator's heads, it kills pretty fast. It's an okay pick. A tier, I would say. The Scythe is top of usable. It can kill Devastators insanely fast if you focus fire on the head. I just feel like in a lot of situations, it takes a long time to do that. It takes longer. Like it kills in like 2 seconds, I'm pretty sure, if you focus fire on the head. Maybe not even 2 seconds. That's easier said than done, trying to focus fire on the bot's head, because it's also light armor pen, which means if you don't hit the head, you're not doing damage at all. Like you're just not penetrating and you're not doing any damage. So you literally have to be hitting the head the entire time to get that kill. And I think that's what really holds it back, is that light armor pen. So I'm gonna put in the top of usable. That's the tier list for all my primary weapons. I'd say that's pretty accurate to how I feel about them. Opinions may change over time, especially if stuff gets buffed and nerfed. I mean, expect updated tier list videos if that happens. I don't think we're gonna be seeing nerfs that much anymore, but buffs maybe. And new weapons, obviously, that'll have to be added to it. But yeah. That's it. If you disagree with any of this, feel free to leave a comment down below. Tell me I'm an idiot or something. I don't care. Start a conversation about it. If you agree, also leave a comment. And that'll be it for the video, I guess. If you liked it, leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. There'll be more tier list videos here soon. I'm gonna do all stratagems and all the secondary weapons and everything against all the factions. And this one is just against the bot faction. I'm going to have one against the bugs and Illuminate as well, so keep an eye out for those. Subscribe so you don't miss them, and that'll be it. I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you in the next video.